Have you ever noticed how people feel strangely exposed around you? How some are drawn to you instantly, while others seem irritated by your presence for no clear reason? It's not because you're trying to stand out. It's because your energy does something rare. It reflects people back to themselves, and not everyone is ready to see who they really are. If your life has felt like a strange mix of emotional depth, inner strength, loneliness, and unexpected wisdom, this message may be speaking directly to you. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift? You didn't say much, maybe not even anything at all, yet suddenly someone tenses, someone else fidgets, and another person avoids eye contact. You might have laughed it off or assumed it was coincidence, but for a Heyoka empath, this is a familiar pattern. There is something in your presence, in the way you perceive and reflect reality, that nudges people into seeing parts of themselves they often try to hide. And here's the fascinating thing: you do this effortlessly, without intending to, without planning, and without even realizing it most of the time. The truth is, people are rarely conscious of the inner shadows they carry. Most go through life projecting their fears, insecurities, and unresolved emotions onto the external world, carefully constructing narratives that keep them comfortable. They surround themselves with familiar routines, polite facades, and selective attention to avoid confronting the parts of themselves they find uncomfortable or even unbearable. And then you appear, your very essence, the way you observe, the energy you radiate, the emotional authenticity you carry, acts like a mirror they are not ready to face. When someone is confronted with a reflection of their own unhealed wounds, it can feel threatening. It is not a threat in the physical sense, nor even necessarily in a social sense. It is a threat to their internal equilibrium, to the illusion they've carefully built around who they think they are, and you unknowingly become the catalyst. You might make an offhand comment, ask a direct question, or even just remain silently present, but these small actions create ripples across the hidden depths of someone's psyche. What is truly remarkable is that this triggering is not about judgment or superiority. You are not attacking or criticizing. You are simply existing with an intensity and authenticity that forces others to reckon with themselves. And this is often experienced as discomfort, irritation, or even resentment from the people around you. They may accuse you of being too intense or too direct, when in reality you are merely holding up a mirror to their unconscious patterns. This phenomenon occurs because a Heyoka empath's nervous system is finely tuned to emotional frequencies that most people do not consciously perceive. You sense hidden tensions, unspoken desires, and subtle shifts in mood, and your awareness radiates outward, often unconsciously. People are instinctively drawn to you, but at the same time they are repelled. It is the paradox of your presence, magnetic yet unsettling. Being a natural emotional mirror comes with its own complexities. You might notice that certain people avoid you entirely, while others are inexplicably drawn to you, even if they do not understand why. Some may respond with anger or defensiveness, others with fascination or curiosity. You may even feel a weight of responsibility when your presence seems to provoke such reactions. But the truth is, you are not the cause of their internal battles. You are simply the reflection of what already exists inside them, a reflection that they are not yet prepared to accept. Over time, you may learn to recognize the patterns of triggering, certain types of comments, gestures, or energies that consistently elicit responses in others. You may even develop a form of conscious awareness around it, understanding when your presence might push someone's buttons. But initially, it can be bewildering, even isolating, to realize that people react so strongly to your mere presence. It can feel unfair, confusing, or even painful, because your intentions are often pure, grounded in empathy and authenticity. Yet they produce reactions that can be unexpectedly intense. Interestingly, this ability to trigger others without trying is also a sign of profound emotional intelligence. It indicates a capacity to perceive what others cannot see in themselves and to embody truths that they are actively resisting. And while this can create tension in relationships, it also opens the door for transformation. The people who remain present with you, who face their discomfort rather than fleeing from it often experience accelerated growth, increased self-awareness, and emotional breakthroughs that would not have occurred otherwise. This is why your mere presence can feel simultaneously unsettling and illuminating. It is not about control or manipulation, but about the natural consequence of being deeply attuned, honest, and emotionally transparent. People may label it as disruptive or challenging, but in essence it is a reflection of the unconscious being confronted by authenticity. You trigger people not because you intend to, but because you embody the courage to exist fully, without hiding, without masking, and without diluting your truth. Healing is often imagined as gentle, soft words, soothing presence, kind gestures, or quiet reassurance. But for a Heyoka Empath, healing rarely works this way. Your power does not come from providing comfort. It comes from contrast, from disruption, from shaking people awake in ways they didn't even know they needed. Your gift lies in your ability to illuminate the hidden corners of the psyche, to bring what is buried, denied, or repressed into stark clarity. When most people attempt to help others, they do so by making them feel safe, by avoiding confrontation, by keeping everything pleasant. They are afraid of the resistance, the backlash, or the emotional turbulence that comes from revealing the truth. But you operate differently. You understand intuitively that true transformation cannot occur in a vacuum of comfort. Comfort may soothe for a moment, but it rarely provokes change. Contrast, on the other hand, breaks through complacency. It exposes illusions, challenges assumptions, and forces reflection. The people who come into your life often feel this immediately. They may enter seeking advice, solace, or companionship, expecting warmth and reassurance. What they receive instead is clarity, sharp honesty, and sometimes even playful disruption. You might point out patterns they have ignored, ask questions they have avoided, or simply reflect their unspoken emotions in a way that feels uncanny. They may feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is the catalyst for growth. Your role is not to soothe their fragile ego, it is to reveal their unacknowledged truths. This is why people often describe interactions with you as both challenging and illuminating. You may make them laugh one moment, only to confront them with a piercing truth the next. You create an emotional tension, a dynamic contrast between comfort and revelation that forces people to engage with themselves in ways they would otherwise resist. They may leave the conversation unsettled, but they leave transformed, carrying a new awareness they could not have accessed through gentle reassurance alone. Your methods are subtle yet powerful. You may use humor, irony, or paradox to highlight contradictions in thought or behavior. You might offer a seemingly simple observation that unexpectedly pierces through denial. Sometimes you provoke with silence, allowing someone to fill the space with their own awareness. The contrast between what is comfortable and what is real, between expectation and truth, is the instrument through which your healing flows. This approach requires courage and clarity. Many shy away from confrontation or the discomfort it brings because they fear rejection or conflict. But you, as a Heyoka Empath, do not shy away. You understand that transformation often comes with tension, that the ego resists growth, and that people must face the parts of themselves they have hidden away. Your presence alone acts as a mirror, and in that reflection contrast naturally arises. You are not delivering a comfortable message. You are delivering authenticity, and authenticity is rarely easy to receive. Interestingly, the people you impact the most are often those who initially resist you. They might bristle at your words, feel challenged by your energy, or even attempt to dismiss your perspective. Yet these are precisely the individuals who experience the most profound breakthroughs. You teach them indirectly that growth is not found in avoidance, in pleasant distractions, or in reassurance that everything is fine. Growth is found in confrontation with truth, in emotional contrast, and in the awareness that life cannot be fully navigated while clinging to comfort. Over time, you may notice a pattern in how your healing unfolds. The people you influence often oscillate between discomfort and insight, They may leave your presence questioning, reflecting, or even resisting, but ultimately they encounter realizations that reshape their perception of themselves and the world around them. Your energy, your way of existing authentically, becomes a conduit for these awakenings. And it can trust you provide access, both mirror and catalyst. Your ability to heal through contrast rather than comfort is deeply aligned with your nature as a Heyoka Empath. You are drawn to truth, even when it is uncomfortable, and you understand that emotional growth is rarely linear or gentle. People who seek you out often need disruption disguised as presence, and though they may not realize it immediately, they are receiving a form of healing far more powerful than reassurance, because it awakens their consciousness in ways that comfort never could. For most people, chaos is terrifying. It is a storm that shakes their sense of safety, a whirlwind that threatens to destabilize everything they have built, a force that makes them question their decisions, their surroundings, and even themselves. Panic, fear, and reactive energy ripple through the air as people scramble for control, desperately seeking ways to return to a semblance of order. But for a Heyoka Empath, chaos is not an enemy. It is a teacher. It is familiar territory, almost like an old friend who has visited countless times, offering lessons disguised as turmoil. While others collapse under pressure, you stand anchored, observant, and strangely serene. Even in the midst of emotional storms that would overwhelm most, this calm is not a performance or an act of stoicism. It is the natural state of someone whose nervous system has been tempered by experience, reflection, and deep emotional attunement. From a young age, you have likely encountered situations that forced you to navigate intense emotional currents, whether within your family, social circles, or your inner world. These experiences, though challenging, trained you to process extremes without losing your center. You have learned, often unconsciously, that the world is in constant flux, and that resistance to this flux only amplifies suffering. Your calm does not come from denial of chaos. It comes from acceptance and awareness of it. People notice this almost immediately when they are near you in a crisis, while others argue, complain, or panic. Your presence feels stabilizing. They do not always understand why. Sometimes they might even resent it because your calm highlights their own inability to maintain composure. It is as though you are holding a quiet mirror to their inner storm, showing them the possibility of clarity and control, even when everything around them is falling apart. You do not need to fix the situation. You do not need to offer solutions or advice. Your calm in chaos itself is transformative because it models a different way of being, one that is rooted in observation, discernment, and emotional intelligence rather than reaction. This ability to remain composed is closely tied to your deep connection to the emotional undercurrents of those around you. You are highly sensitive to shifts in energy, tension, and intention, but instead of becoming swept away by them, you process and integrate them internally. You can sense fear, anger, confusion, and grief, yet your response is measured and deliberate. You do not mirror the panic. You hold a stabilizing vibration that allows others to process their emotions without being consumed by them. It is a rare form of leadership, one that operates not through authority or dominance, but through presence and alignment. Interestingly, your calm can sometimes evoke discomfort in others. When people are engulfed by chaos, they often expect everyone else to feel the same intensity of stress or urgency. Your serenity can feel unnatural to them, even frustrating. They may interpret it as indifference, detachment, or even superiority, not realizing that your inner stability is a product of both experience and innate awareness. You are not detached from reality. You are deeply engaged with it, but in a way that allows clarity to emerge even amidst disorder. Your calmness also enables you to perceive patterns in chaos that others miss. While most people are reacting, you are observing. You notice the sequence of events, the underlying emotional dynamics, and the triggers that perpetuate tension. You can intuitively anticipate reactions, potential conflicts, or opportunities for resolution because your mind and heart are synchronized in ways that are rare. This heightened perception allows you not only to survive chaos, but to navigate it strategically and gracefully. Over time, you may have discovered that this gift carries both beauty and burden. You are often relied upon in situations that overwhelm others, called upon to provide clarity, stability, or guidance without being explicitly asked. This responsibility can feel heavy because while your calm is a gift to others, it does not make you immune to emotional or mental fatigue. In fact, your ability to maintain composure requires conscious management of your own energy and boundaries. You have likely learned that retreating into solitude, grounding practices, or reflective moments is essential to recharge your inner equilibrium. Your serenity in chaotic moments is also a signal of profound inner wisdom. It reflects your understanding that emotions are transient, that life is a series of ups and downs, and that surrendering to panic only amplifies suffering. Unlike those who are ruled by circumstance, you are guided by observation, intuition, and a deep sense of timing. You can move through turmoil with precision, knowing when to act, when to intervene, and when to simply hold space for what must unfold naturally. What sets you apart is the paradox of your presence. You are deeply affected by chaos. You feel it, you sense it, you understand it, but you are never enslaved by it. While others are swallowed by stormy emotions, you navigate them with grace, offering an unspoken example of how to exist fully, even when the world seems unpredictable, unstable, or overwhelming. If you are a Heyoka Empath, you may have noticed a recurring pattern in your relationships. Emotionally wounded people are drawn to you like moths to a flame. They appear in your life unexpectedly, sometimes repeatedly, and often in ways that feel almost fated. It is not a coincidence. Your presence, your energy, and the authenticity you carry act as a subtle magnet for those who are carrying invisible scars, those who are lost in emotional turbulence, and those whose pain has made them deeply aware yet profoundly vulnerable. These individuals are often seeking something they cannot name. They are not necessarily looking for advice, comfort, or solutions. They are seeking recognition of their truth, and you, whether consciously or unconsciously, provide it. Unlike most people who either ignore emotional depth or respond with judgment or avoidance, you have the capacity to see beyond the surface. You notice the subtle tremors in their demeanor, the hesitations in their voice, the shadows that linger behind their eyes, and without needing to verbalize it, they feel understood. This understanding is magnetic because it validates their experience in a way that is rare in the world. It is important to recognize that attracting emotionally wounded people does not mean you are responsible for fixing them. Your role is not that of a savior or therapist. In fact, attempting to rescue them usually backfires because true growth must arise from within. What you do offer is a safe, reflective space where they can encounter themselves more honestly than they are used to. Your presence can provoke both discomfort and revelation. Some may react defensively, attempting to shield themselves from truths that your energy reflects. Others may gravitate toward you, seeking the mirror you unconsciously provide, hoping it will illuminate a path they cannot see on their own. The paradox is that this attraction is simultaneous. Some find you unsettling, while others find you indispensable. The ones who feel discomfort around you are often confronted by aspects of themselves they have avoided or denied. You do not intend to unsettle them, but your very existence makes avoidance impossible, and the ones who are drawn in are often seeking permission to feel, to face, and to grow. Your capacity to hold emotional space without judgment, to exist authentically without trying to fix or manipulate, communicates to them that it is okay to acknowledge their wounds. You may have noticed that this pattern is consistent across different areas of your life: friendships, romantic relationships, family dynamics, even professional environments. Emotionally wounded people seem to gravitate toward you repeatedly, almost as if your energy is a magnet for what needs attention in themselves. While some may enrich your life, others may bring emotional turbulence, confusion, or drama. This duality can be exhausting yet it is an integral part of your path. Every interaction offers lessons in boundaries, action, and emotional intelligence. You learn to discern who is capable of authentic engagement and who is seeking only to offload unresolved pain. Your presence also activates reflection. Those who are drawn to you are often challenged to confront their patterns, habits, and emotional blind spots. They may test your patience, push your boundaries, or provoke reactions that illuminate their unresolved wounds. This is not accidental. You are a mirror, and your energy exposes what they otherwise cannot see. Some may resist, withdraw, or even lash out, while others grow through the discomfort, gaining insights they could not have accessed without encountering you. Being a magnet for emotionally wounded people also requires discernment. You cannot save everyone, and you cannot carry the weight of all their pain without consequence. Your empathy is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. You must protect your own emotional well-being, maintaining boundaries while remaining compassionate. This often means stepping back, observing without absorbing, and allowing others to navigate their healing journey at their own pace. You cannot fix their wounds, but your presence can act as a catalyst for self-reflection, awakening, and growth. If you are a Heyoka Empath, you have likely experienced the frustration of being misunderstood by the very people you encounter every day. You may speak, act, or simply exist in ways that others misinterpret, and it often feels like no matter how carefully you communicate, your intentions are perceived incorrectly. This misunderstanding is not a reflection of failure on your part. It is the natural consequence of being a person who operates on a deeper, subtler frequency than most people can immediately perceive. Your awareness, emotional depth, and unconventional energy challenge the ordinary patterns of perception that most individuals rely upon. From early on, you may have noticed that your behavior does not align neatly with societal expectations. Your sensitivity to emotional nuance, your intuition, and your capacity to sense underlying truths often manifest in ways that seem unusual or even confusing to others. You may speak in metaphors, use humor in unexpected ways, or respond to situations based on intuition rather than logic alone. These traits, while integral to your power and authenticity, can easily be misread. People may label you as aloof, distant, or unpredictable when, in reality, you are deeply attuned and fully present, just in ways that their understanding cannot immediately grasp. This misunderstanding extends to your emotions as well. You feel deeply and process experiences internally, yet you may not always express your feelings in conventional ways. To the outside observer, your calmness might seem indifference, your introspection might appear disengagement, and your boundaries might be interpreted as coldness. In truth, you are simply navigating the world with a level of emotional sophistication and self-awareness that others are not accustomed to encountering. Your emotional landscape is rich, nuanced, and complex, and it cannot always be conveyed through surface-level interactions. Interestingly, being misunderstood often intensifies when you are most authentic. The more honest you are about your perceptions, thoughts, and emotions, the more likely people are to misinterpret your intent. Ions. This is because your authenticity exposes their assumptions, projections, and unacknowledged vulnerabilities. People are conditioned to react to what they perceive, not to what is. When you operate outside these conditioned reactions, when you are transparent, intuitive, and unconventional, you naturally disrupt their expectations. The resulting misunderstanding is a reflection not of your inadequacy, but of the challenge your presence poses to their habitual ways of seeing and interpreting the world. You may also notice that misunderstanding is often coupled with judgment. People may offer unsolicited advice, attempt to correct you, or express frustration with your behavior. Some may distance themselves or make assumptions about your character that are completely inaccurate. While this can feel isolating, it also serves as a marker of your unique energy. Those who are unsettled by you are often encountering aspects of themselves they have not reconciled, projected onto your presence in ways they cannot consciously acknowledge. Your authenticity triggers reflection, whether they realize it or not, and this is inherently uncomfortable for those who are unwilling to confront their own truths. Over time, you may have learned to navigate these misunderstandings with patience, discernment, and self-assuredness. You understand that not everyone will be able to grasp your perspective, and that is not your responsibility. You also learn to choose carefully who you share your energy with, recognizing that some individuals are ready to engage with your depth while others are not. This awareness allows you to conserve your emotional energy, focus your empathy where it will be received, and maintain alignment with your own truth, even in the face of repeated misinterpretation. Paradoxically, the very qualities that make you misunderstood are the ones that give you influence, presence, and power. Your depth, insight, and authenticity create resonance with those who are capable of seeing beyond superficial impressions. You may find that a single encounter with someone who truly understands you leaves a profound impact, far more significant than interactions with the majority who misread your intentions. This selective resonance reinforces your role as a Heyoka Empath. Your energy is not for mass approval, but for awakening, reflecting, and catalyzing growth in those prepared to receive it. For a Heyoka Empath, solitude is not optional. It is essential. Unlike most people whose energy is replenished by social interaction or external validation, you recharge by turning inward, retreating into quiet spaces where you can process, reflect, and reconnect with your own inner world. The intensity of your perception, the depth of your empathy, and the subtlety of your emotional awareness mean that constant interaction with others can be draining. People often mistake your need for solitude as aloofness, arrogance, or social withdrawal, but in reality it is a conscious and necessary act of self-preservation and self-mastery. From early experiences, you may have recognized that you absorb the emotional energy of those around you. Joy, excitement, anger, fear, grief, you feel it all, often without even realizing how deeply it has penetrated your system. This sensitivity, while powerful, makes you vulnerable to exhaustion if you do not take deliberate time to recalibrate. Solitude allows you to separate your own emotions from those you have absorbed, to process the experiences of others without being consumed by them, and to maintain clarity in both thought and feeling. Without this practice, your power as a Heyoka Empath diminishes, and your energy becomes fragmented, reactive, or overwhelmed. The solitude you require is not merely physical. It is emotional, mental, and spiritual. It is the space in which you can observe your thoughts without judgment, confront your fears, and integrate your experiences. In these moments, you process the lessons of your interactions, reflect on the dynamics of relationships, and gain insight into patterns that may have gone unnoticed in the busyness of social engagement. For a Heyoka Empath, these periods of introspection are like sharpening tools before returning to the world. They allow you to operate from a position of centeredness rather than depletion. Interestingly, your need for solitude often sets you apart from others. People may not understand why you choose to withdraw at times, or they may even try to pull you back into social obligations, thinking that your absence is a problem to be solved. But the truth is that your withdrawal is not avoidance, it is preparation. It is in these quiet, reflective periods that you cultivate the resilience, insight, and emotional strength required to navigate the complex world of human interaction. Solitude is the soil from which your power grows. Without it, your empathy becomes scattered, your energy fluctuates, and your ability to influence or heal others diminishes. During solitude, you may find yourself engaging in various practices that help you maintain alignment and clarity. Some Heyoka Empaths meditate, journal, or connect with nature. Others engage in creative expression, allowing the energy they have absorbed to transform into art, music, or writing. Still others use solitude simply to rest, sit in silence, and observe the inner landscape of their mind and emotions. Whatever the method, the purpose remains the same: to restore equilibrium, sharpen intuition, and renew the capacity to engage with the world without losing yourself in it. Your relationship with solitude also teaches you boundaries. You learn to discern when your presence is truly needed and when stepping back is the wisest choice. This awareness allows you to engage selectively, providing your energy to those who can receive it without compromising your own well-being. It also helps you recognize relationships, environments, or situations that are emotionally draining, toxic, or misaligned with your growth. By honoring your need for solitude, you cultivate both self-respect and the ability to remain effective and impactful in your interactions. Paradoxically, your solitude is not isolation, it is the source of your deepest connection. While the world may mistake your retreats as withdrawal, it is within these periods of self-reflection and inner focus that you access your greatest insights, your strongest emotional intelligence, and your most profound intuitive guidance. It is from this inner reservoir that you return to the world empowered, capable of navigating chaos, holding space for others, and reflecting truths that would otherwise remain hidden. If you are a Heyoka Empath, your life has never been simple or linear. From early ON, you may have noticed that you experience emotions more intensely, navigate situations more profoundly, and perceive realities that others often overlook. Life for you is a continuous process of initiation, moments, experiences, and relationships that are designed not to break you, but to awaken you. Each trial, each heartbreak, each moment of profound joy or sorrow has functioned as a doorway into a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. These emotional initiations are not random, they are part of the unique path of growth that comes with being someone whose empathy and awareness are extraordinary. Your emotional journey is different from most because it is not cushioned by ignorance or distraction. You are often thrust into experiences that demand confrontation with truth, both your own and that of others. You encounter betrayal, disappointment, loss, and conflict in ways that are unusually intense. At first, these experiences may feel like punishment or misfortune, as if the universe is testing your endurance unnecessarily. But over time, you recognize that each challenge has served a purpose to sharpen your perception, strengthen your resilience, and deepen your capacity for empathy. Emotional pain in your life is never meaningless. It is a catalyst for awakening. From childhood, you may have found yourself observing the world with a sensitivity that others could not comprehend. You notice subtleties in emotion, shifts in energy, and the unspoken dynamics between people. These perceptions often make ordinary situations feel overwhelming or confusing because you are sensing layers of reality that others are blind to. These heightened perceptions are gifts, but they also require initiation. You are repeatedly confronted with situations that force you to learn how to navigate your own intensity, how to protect your energy, and how to respond with wisdom rather than reaction. Throughout your life, relationships have often acted as crucibles for emotional initiation. People enter your world carrying their own wounds, projections, and unresolved patterns. Some of these relationships are transient, serving as mirrors that reflect what you need to understand about yourself. Others persist, presenting repeated lessons in patience, boundaries, and emotional discernment. These connections, while challenging, are instrumental in your growth. They teach you how to maintain your integrity while engaging deeply with the emotional realities of others, and they reinforce the idea that your empathy is both a gift and a responsibility. Moments of profound loss or betrayal often feel particularly intense for you, as your emotional sensitivity amplifies the impact of these events. Yet these moments are also moments of awakening. They strip away illusions, reveal hidden truths, and force you to confront the impermanence and unpredictability of life. Each initiation, no matter how painful, deepens your understanding of human nature and your place within it. It teaches you to navigate complexity with clarity, to embrace vulnerability without being consumed by it, and to transform suffering into insight. Your life has also provided moments of intense joy, awe, and love, which function as the complementary side of these initiations. Just as you are tested through pain, you are initiated through experiences of wonder, connection, and inspiration. These moments teach you the value of gratitude, the importance of presence, and the transformative power of emotional openness. They reinforce the understanding that life is not a series of isolated events, but a tapestry of experiences designed to cultivate depth, wisdom, and resilience. Over time, you recognize a pattern in your life, that no challenge is arbitrary, no heartbreak without lesson, and no emotional upheaval without purpose. Each experience functions as an initiation, refining your perception, strengthening your emotional intelligence, and revealing aspects of yourself that could not have been discovered otherwise. This series of initiations, while often difficult to endure in the moment, has shaped you into someone capable of profound insight, compassion, and influence